Aloha, welcome to Happy Hips. Okay, you're gonna need a yoga strap. Just put it to the side and we're gonna start on our back. Bend your legs and we'll start with some bridge flowing. Inhale, raise your hips, and exhale, roll your hips down. Make sure your feet are hip width apart, no wider, and that your knees are right over the ankles and your knees are not splaying outward, but you're keeping your knees aligned with your hips, because this little warm-up will help to align our hips and bring some blood flow into the lower back so we can begin our hip openers. Do about 10 of them. This is a nice movement. I feel like it's a massage for your spine as you roll up and down. Our hips are where we hold our emotions. So if during the sequence or when you're doing this on your own at home, if you have an emotional release, please let it go. If you feel like crying, definitely cry and let it out. Tears of transformation. 20 years ago when I started doing these sequences, I was doing hip openers and just crying and didn't understand why, and then I learned that the hips are where we store our emotions. So did a lot of crying in pigeon pose. Okay, let's do one more. Go up and down. After bridge, you always want to do knees to chest, or my flavor right now is soles of feet together and knees open. My right hip flexor has been bugging me for the last month, so this just feels better on my hips. Just breathe. And then we're going to go into a first hip opener across the ankle right above the knee. And you want to let your foot hang off. So you want to be able to rotate your foot. You don't want it here so like your ankle is sickled. It strains the ankle, okay? So it's really important. A lot of people can't reach behind and grab their thigh and pull it in. They're that tight. So no worries. Take your yoga strap and lasso your leg. Right? So even if you're here, you've got the strap in both hands, gently just pull. And this might be where all you can do right now, and that's okay. Right? Wherever you're at is perfect. I'm just going to hold that and breathe. Now that's a pretty common pose or stretch, but I like to add on to make it more effective is to go into circles. So the leg that you're holding, you're going to begin to circle it around. Nice and easy and gently, like you're stirring a big pot of soup. And as you're doing this, you want to relax your lower back into the ground. Just feel your hips slowly and gently opening as you breathe. Sometimes you might feel it's a little stuck in some areas, like you're circling all of a sudden, it's like, right? That's normal. But just notice without judging what's going on and circle the other way. So you're going to do about 10 in each direction. Right? This is a really nice way to open the hips. And then after you've done 10 in each direction, gently pull back, and you're going to find that you've already gained flexibility in your hips by just doing that simple movement. Right? I'm rushing a little bit through the movements just for the sake of the video, but when you're at home doing this, please relax and take your time. Okay? So the next thing, we're going to place that foot on the ground, keep the knee where it is, and gently push down on the knee. So now we're going to get right into that. Ooh, yeah, baby. The hip flexor. Now, if you're very open in this way, you can also just take your foot in your hand, straighten this leg, and then try to get your foot high up into your hip crease over here and gently start to let your knee drop. I'm going to stop right there because I'm already starting to feel a little soreness. And a little word of advice: if something hurts you, if any video that I'm explaining and instructing, if you feel pain in your body, stop and don't do it. It's really that simple, okay? There's always other things you could do, and even just being present and breathing is going to help heal your body, okay? And then you're going to release. And we're going to go to the other side. So I'm going to cross the ankle. See how my whole foot is hanging off here? I'm going to reach back. Yep, and use your yoga strap if you can't reach. We're going to hold this for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to go into our circles, 10 in each direction. This is such a great hip opener, and it's for anybody, beginner to advanced. I mean, I love just doing this. It feels good, even at the end of the day, if you've been sitting a lot, or if you just had a rough day and you just feel like you need to give your hips a little love. Right after you've done your 10, notice how more flexible you are. Amazing. And then release the foot down, and you're going to just gently push on that knee. And you can hold this foot, slide it up toward the hip crease, and straighten this leg and let that knee drop. See, this side for me is like so much easier, and I feel no pain compared to the other side. So what I always tell myself when I have aches and pains in my body is that this too shall pass, and it always does. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but it always does. Release. Good. And then you hold that for about 30 seconds, then release, and go back to your middle stretch, which is knees to chest or soles of your feet together. And breathe. And this next amazing healing hip opener, we're going to use a yoga strap. Even if you have the flexibility, doesn't matter, use your strap. It helps. You're going to put the strap around the ball mound of your foot. Okay, that's the top part of your foot. You want your toes to be able to move, and you want to spread your toes and flex your foot. So there's a big difference. This is really important. Okay, so for the next sequence, I want you to be aware of what your foot is doing. I want it always to be flexed. You see how I'm flexing it? When you do that, you're going to feel a stretch down in the gastroc, maybe into your Achilles and the lower part of your leg here, and it's going to help so much your joints, especially your knees and your hips. So you're going to flex the foot. You're going to take 5 deep breaths here. So it doesn't matter, like, if you can't pull your leg back 90 degrees or even back further, it's okay. You might be here, right? And that's really good. But your foot is flexed. See? You got my flexed foot? And you're breathing. And we're going to do that parasympathetic breath. So it's breathe in. Relax your belly, let it expand like a big balloon, and exhale. 5 of them. Breathe in. Pause. Exhale. Pause. Good. So it's good to be aware, though. They say that good flexibility in your hamstring is if you're able to bring your leg 90 degrees with your leg straight, meaning no bending your knee. And on this stretch, I'm going to advise you to keep your leg blocked out and straight, okay? Even if you're down here, because we have to stretch behind the kneecap as well at times. And if you have very tight hamstrings, you really need to stretch behind your kneecap, and there's going to be times when you're going to need to straighten your leg. Now, it's safer on your back because we're not sitting on our tailbone, and we're not causing undue strain on our lower discs and our spine. So this is a safe time to be able to straighten your leg and get that full stretch behind the kneecap. So after your 5 breaths, you're going to hold the strap in one hand. You're going to do open to the outside, and you're going to do 5 breaths here. So depending on your hip flexibility, you might be able to bring your foot up higher towards your head, or it might be down here. It doesn't matter. You just want to be able to feel it and breathe. 5 parasympathetic breaths. And also notice, like, my foot is engaged and I'm active in my body. I'm not just letting my leg drop like a limp piece of pasta. I'm engaging, right? But I'm not engaging by causing more tension. I'm just engaging. Inhale, come center. Take the strap with your other hand. Now we do the outer hip stretch. So now your hip's going to roll. I'm going to take 5 breaths here. Okay. So when you do the outer hip stretch, it's okay for your hip to roll up. When inhale, come back center. When you do this stretch, when you're stretching the inner hips and the adductors, try not to let your hip roll up, okay? You want to keep this hip down. Inhale, come back center. Exhale, now we're sit up. Try to get the extra stretch of the hamstring. Then release, and you can release your leg down. And just notice and feel the difference. This leg feels lighter and longer. It's amazing after I wasn't even doing it really, just showing you, right? And then you go to the other side. Same sequence on this side, right? 5 breaths here, leg is locked out and straight. Then you open to the outside, and this is when you don't want to let this hip roll up. You want to keep this hip down. Open to the outside for 5 breaths. Inhale, up center. Take the strap with your other hand, and then you do your outer hip stretch. You can look the other way if you like, but if you feel restriction in your neck, no worries. Just stay looking straight up towards the ceiling or the sky. Take your 5 breaths here. Inhale, back center. Exhale, sit up as best as you can. Release, and then release. Come back to a middle stretch. And then soles of your feet together. Let your knees open. Place your hands on your lower dantian. Stay here for about a minute as a restorative hip opener. And when you're done, you can bring your knees together, roll over to your side, and then slowly come on up. I hope that was helpful to you. Please leave any comments, or if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. And I will be adding more hip sequences, some more advanced hip openers, and also some hip strengthening. So I'll see you soon. Aloha.
The soul fire in me, I give to you. Aho. To learn more about my offerings, visit my website at igniteyoursoulfire.com. Please subscribe to my channel and comment below, my soul family. Thank you for being here on our precious planet Gaia at this time. Your light matters. You matter. You make a difference in the world by just being you. Ahuiho. Until our hearts meet again. You are loved.